Hello everyone, I've got another thrifted find for you here today. This is my Panasonic CT-500V color video monitor. I got this for $5 at my local thrift store and it's a little beat up. It definitely needs a cleaning. I'm going to give a little once over video of it, and then I'm actually going to shoot some footage of me cleaning this thing up, and I'll show you the product afterwards. And then I'll go over all the features of this monitor and I'll show you it in action. Now, starting from the front, you've got the Panasonic logo. You've got a little 5-inch color CRT screen. This is your tuning bands for ultra high frequency and VHF TV bands. They don't broadcast these anymore, but you can get transmitters yourself to transmit these signals in a short distance. But we don't really need that, and you'll see why later. You've got a volume slider. Nice little metal knobs on everything. Well, these are plastic, but the front plate's metal, and the metal finish looks nice. This is the kickstand, which doesn't work all that well, as you can see. You've got your selector for your different bands and your power button. Over here, you've got your tuning knob for the front, and actually moves the dial on the inside. Well, you probably need the lights to be able to see that. You've got your focus and just some this is a charge function. This had a battery pack in it at one point. I took it out, but it used to run off of nickel cadmium batteries, I think. I don't know what the technology would have been for the 80s, but some pre-lithium ion battery was in this thing, so you could actually take this on the go. You have 120 volt AC plug, and then you've got a 12 volt plug. I run it off at 12 volts just because I don't trust the AC circuitry in here. I'd rather feed it clean, modern 12 volts than trust the transformers or the caps in here not to fry this thing. You've got, I think, yeah, these are antenna connections. This is for your battery pack. It was an external pack, so it's not as, portable as something modern, but still pretty cool for 1982. You can change it between your inputs and outputs here. So essentially you can put coaxial or composite video in, excuse me, and you've got mono audio in, and then you can bridge that out. So you can kind of use this as a reference monitor for things, which is pretty useful. I'm not quite sure what this is. I just leave it on. I think it just has something to do with saturation settings, things like that. And then you've got your vertical hold. You've got these are just some brightness settings. I've never managed to track down a manual for this thing, so I can't know specifically what these do, but you kind of just tune it till it looks right. Brightness, tint, and color. You can completely desaturate the signal if you want, which is cool. Earphone out. And then this is the CT-500. There was a CT-300, which was, I think, the first 3-inch color CRT screen of the time, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure. 26 watts. I have a pretty beefy 12 volt power supply. Make sure if you're ever trying to run something like this off of a brick that you check that the wattage is correct, because if it's not powered, it probably won't turn on, or it will run incorrectly. And here you can see color video monitor, CT-500V. I like this font here. And then really filthy. This is tape residue. Something was taped here and peeled off. The original sticker from when I bought this, $5, and dust everywhere. I think this is for mounting an antenna. Not entirely sure. So now I'm going to do a quick time lapse of me cleaning this thing, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's turned on. Now, real quickly, I'm going to go over what I'll be using to clean this. I've got paper towels, some Q-tips, and 2 cleaners I'm going to be using. Just Windex for, cleaning off surfaces. And then this is dissolved degreaser. It's not anything you can buy in a store. You kind of have to get it at a cleaning supply place or something like that. But it's just a big old gallon jug of degreaser. This is diluted 1 to 64, and it still cuts through grease and everything like crazy. So I'm going to be using that for tape residue and things like that. It'll get it all up, and then the Windex will finish everything, and the Q-tips are good for all the dust stuck in the nook and crannies of the knobs and everything. Alright, I got it all cleaned up. There's a little bit of glue left here. I might have to bust out the isopropyl alcohol, 99%, the lab grade stuff, and it'll cut right through that. I think this is just fading on the plastic from the glue sitting there for so long. A lot of the wear on here was really just wear, didn't wipe away, but this thing is relatively beat up externally, but luckily works quite well functionally. So now I'm gonna hook up something so that we can test this out. And here's what I'm gonna be using for the demo. We got classic NES with a combo Mario Bros and Duck Hunt cart. Now I'm gonna start with Duck Hunt, just so I can show you the sound on this thing, and then I'm gonna turn it off because I know Nintendo will flag this video if there's any Mario music in it. I am just going to be preemptive about that. Now, I apologize for the lighting in this. It's a little tricky to capture these old CRT screens, especially with an iPhone 8, so I'm going to do my best. Let's power the TV on. It takes a second for the bulb to warm up. You can see there's that little line there that moves up and down for the tuning band. You can change the color from red to green because that's about all you can do with that thing since there's no more broadcast. We boot up the NES. We get our picture. And there's our sound. Bastard. Now, one of the interesting things is that you actually can't play light gun games on a normal LCD screen. It has to be on a CRT because of how the little sensor at the end of the light gun, there's essentially just a little like LED sensor. They call it a, God, I can't remember, optical sensor, something like that. It picks up a signal from the TV. Every time you press the trigger, the screen blacks out and a little white square appears where the bird is, and the sensor in this detects that white square. If you're pointed right at it, it'll essentially send the right amount of voltage down the line and it will count as a hit. But if you try to do that on a flat panel TV, it just won't recognize it at all because of just of the nature of how the TVs are designed. Now I'm gonna switch over to Mario real quick, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. The colors on this TV are actually quite nice. That was one of the main reasons why I held on to this thing is just because of how nice it looks for how small of a panel it is. It's almost like having a little mini arcade screen for this NES. Because I have a 21 something inch Trinitron that I use for everything else. But it's nice to have something little. And it's good for just testing out VHS tape things like that. The colors on the screen are actually quite vibrant. They've gone a little out of sync. Like you can tell that the upper right corner, it's a little bit pink when it should be blue. I imagine that's just from the cathode wearing out, or like the phosphor screen that's used to make all the color and whatnot. Alright, well, I'm not going to sit here and play Mario the entire time, but that was essentially my little demo of my Panasonic CT-500V. Thank you everyone for checking the video out and sticking with me for this one. I know it was a little bit long, but I wanted to do something nice because I missed a couple days, just busy with Valentine's Day and everything. So yeah, look forward to the next video. I'll try to get one out tomorrow, and I look forward to showing you guys cool new thrifted finds.